What is it now? I already told you guys, I'm tired. Can't it wait? Oh, it's you. Guess you came here to see what happened last time on Fate's End, huh? Well, you better sit down. There's a lot to tell and it's pretty hectic. The party decided to take a shortcut through the storm. As you may have already guessed, there are never any easy shortcuts without consequences. And we ran into a really big consequence.
You hear crack, bam, and the whole ship just kind of like sways abruptly. And it's just going to slam into the bottom of the ship.
And it's gonna miss.
Pretty big target.
The Sky Reaper, they called it. It began to throw itself against our ship. We must have crossed into its territory, maybe its home. Everything happened so fast, no one had time to think. Ludin shot arrows at its face, Samson tried to blind it, and Esperis was commanding the cannons down below. It even caught me up and swallowed me whole. Not the first time Dimension Door has saved me. Probably won't be the last either.
Okay, so Cassius, the Sky Reaver rears back once more, the dark black blood dripping down its face and its scales. Cassius shifts his foot as he remains still, his eyes narrowed and focused, his muscles and cheek flexing, waiting for his window of opportunity. The Reaver screams, lunges once more as it tries to, run away. He swivels immediately, cuts the wooden yoke holding the large metal ship's bell hanging next to one of the masts. He grabs it, and using as much muscle force and momentum, he runs with it, hand and just BOOM! Smashes it into the Reaper's head. The top of the carapace cracks and peels back and goes flying. A few pieces of it, the size of shields, crashes down, and it doesn't even get away because it's still there. Let me move it back. It doesn't even get away. It doesn't even get. It attempts to run away and flee as this happens, and the size of the carapace shards are the size of shields come crashing down into the deck of the ship.
Cassius swept into battle as if he'd done it 100,000 times before. Everyone fought their hardest, and in the end, the Sky Reaper fell. I can only imagine the tiny earthquake it must have made when it crashed into the ground below us. Some of us were more excited to see what could be harvested from the Sky Reaper's remains.
Much it's really the metal that uses that makes up the blade. He's taught me different ways to cut it and how to make it super thin but not really mess with its structural integrity. It's revolutionizing all of my designs.
You'll have to teach me some of this stuff at some point, man.
Of course, yes.
All right, and I can maybe teach you how to shoot a bow or something like that, a long one. I know you have your little crossbow, but maybe a little bit more distance might help out, right?
He'll look down at his arm.
Little.
And he'll say I'm going to ignore that. And
Continue
Ludo will laugh to
prying
himself.
scales off.
Mhm.
And he'll actually, Ludo will actually go over and help pry those scales off with both of them and try and hold it so that he can get some more leverage and stuff like that.
And some of us were not happy about the outcome at all. Couldn't we have let the Reaper go? Didn't it have eggs to protect? Maybe a family? We heard the mournful cry of what must have been its mate high above us, and Samson shared his wisdom and perspective with us.
You know where I'm from. There's people that think that we should come over here.
What for? You hate it.
Yeah, that's true.
To do the same thing we did to the sky worm thing?
Yeah. There's a lot of us. There's a lot of strong ones of us. And I just look over to where Uri and Ludin are, I'm like... And sometimes I think that it would all be a little bit more civilized if we did.
Tell me something.
Yeah.
We did not know about family. But we care about it. With your people.
No.
Sometimes, when Samson talks, it's hard to understand him. He's always questioning, searching for something far below the surface. Is mortality worth protecting? Is it precious, even though it ends almost as soon as it begins? Both him and Praeria are some of the smartest people I've ever met. I've got a lot to learn from them still. Speaking of Praeria, Aramir was so excited to give her the present he made for her. Just watch.
She's gonna unsheath the blade to look at it.
Alright, so as she unsheaths it, the blade is shaped more like a dart or like a Japanese kunai, like when it goes out and then like really pointy at the top. It's a bright silver color and it kind of shines when it hits the sunlight. And the blade sits atop of the hilt, and the hilt is forged into like a metal lotus flower. And so you've got the thin blade that comes up out of the top here, and then it's got a thin metal grip on the bottom as well. And the petals of the lotus kind of come out like that, so they form like the guard of the sword. And yeah, like the blade pierces up through the center. And he goes, I call it the Flying Lotus.
It's beautiful.
I'm glad well, I know you have a thing for flowers, so I wanted to,
She immediately like starts slashing at the air, like getting a feel for it.
Oh my god, I thought you were gonna be like, she immediately starts stabbing the wood in the Varna.
She seems pretty pleased with it, doesn't she? Aramir knows us so well. Like I've said before, he can make anything he puts his mind to. Soon after, we go to check on Cassius. It's been a while since we've spoken to him, and during our conversation, he tells us about a very strange dream he had.
I also saw a man with blood on his lips, dark, short hair. He was alone, sad, crying out, but he is no longer. He found something or someone, a meeting of chance, perhaps fate. The other that found him, his skin, it's scarred in some places along his arms and hands. His skin is dark and his hair like embers. His eyes have changed.
I don't claim to be an expert on prophecy, but that sounds pretty prophetic to me. What do you think? Afterwards, I stayed behind to give Cassius a few gifts and offer my company if he ever gets lonely on the ship.
He extends the spyglass and just kind of looks through it. And he, like, as soon as he does, like, there's a smile that kind of, like, creeps across his face. And he just kind of moves it. He moves it around the room and just kind of, like, moves. He moves around. He's kind of lost in it for a moment.
And if you look directly up and a little bit to the left, you'll see your constellation.
He, as you say that, he takes it down and like his face just like his smile fades for a second. He goes,
My constellation.
Yeah, the one that was named after you. You have one. And everybody knows of it. And you do too now.
I can hardly believe it myself. The actual breathing, real-life Cassius. The Cassius wants to hang out with me. Wow, just wow. I headed back to my room to look over the books I could share with him when I found the whole group stuffed inside, waiting for me. Cassius had let slip that I still had something to tell them, and I knew they wouldn't be patient enough to wait. He made it sound serious, and in a way I guess it is. But just how serious, no one knows.
No, why am I lying, Ludin?
Oh dear.
I'm gonna keep my mouth shut.
No, why don't you share it with the party? Since I had to share everything, why don't you?
Share everything? Have you shared everything then?
Well, why
Are you?
don't
No. So you're promising us that you're not saying, leaving out any detail in what the god downstairs is saying. Because if it comes back up, I don't want you to say some BS like, no, I just forgot about that part or something like that. But is this the truth then? Because if this is all that it is, and I don't find out anything else, I will apologize. I will do everything in my power to make sure that you're okay. But if you're lying to me right now
What are you
about
gonna
this
do?
and trying to call me out on it, what am I gonna do? Oh, well, I mean, you should have to be a part of my mind.
Ermir chimed in to remind us of everything we've been through, and what we have to remember if we're going to get through all of this. Ending the 5th season, that is.
We've all lost a lot. I mean, you know how much I've lost. And this, the 6 of us, it's the closest thing I have to a family right now. And yes, the truth is important, but trust is also important, and I don't believe those two things are mutually exclusive. So if we're going to do this, whatever it is, save the world, stop the 5th season or whatever, fight monsters on flying ships and things that I never thought I'd be able to do, things that I never dreamed of. Right now, we have to agree to trust each other. Regardless of the amount of information that we have, or regardless of what the quote-unquote truth may be, we fought alongside each other, we've bled with each other, we've saved each other's lives. I feel like we've all earned at least a little bit of trust.
He stays behind to give me a gift, but I haven't opened it yet. I don't know, I guess I'm disheartened by everything going on the last couple of days. Please don't tell them I said this. It's just, what did they expect from me? Why does Ludin despise me so much? I get the feeling no one believed me when I told them about me and Cassius. They think I'm withholding something. That there's more to tell. They think I'm being distrustful. Have they always thought this about me? Are they right to think that? Everyone has secrets, don't they? Sorry, it's late. I don't want to keep you too long. But please come back and see us. Monday, 7:30 Central Standard Time. Next time on Fate's End.